Good morning, California. Welcome back to Coffee and News. Brought to you by my book, Simpin' Ain't Easy 12 Steps to Embracing Common Sense and Rejecting Stupidity. I'm your host, Vince Gervasi, and let's get into this. I stumbled across this article. It's from this morning, California Globe. Mm, this really hits home for me because I speak to this in my book. Uh, Here we have California's governor, the gravitas of actual virtue versus Gavin Newsom's virtue signaling. California's own tyrant wants to be president. A lesson from the Romans. California Governor Gavin Newsom indicated last week that he's still trying to figure out why Democrats lost so badly in the November election. A little introspection is in order for Gavin Newsom. Introspection will help him identify his values, what he believes in, and why he thinks and acts the way he does, if it's even possible. The Globe submitted, let's see what he submitted. Gaslighting. Yeah, we talked a little bit about this, I believe, in one of my other videos. If I haven't, I'll get there. Um, let's get back. Perhaps the suggestion was a little tongue in cheek because for decades we have witnessed an astounding lack of self awareness from the ever more radical left following election losses. Noticeably absent from American society today is virtue. We hear and see too much virtue signaling, especially from the left and media pontification about climate change, gender fluidity, all forms of justice, gender justice, environmental justice, income justice, reproductive housing justice, criminal justice, reform. Not enough honor, kindness, ethic, and morality. By the way, all these justices that were highlighted here, all of these justices all come to the BLM, feminist, Antifa, all these freaking movements. This is just the transgender movement. All of this all coming together to form a whole brand new version of fascism and Marxism. Believe it or not, it all ties together, and it's all rooted in trying to undermine the American way of life, in my opinion. However, I mean, I'm willing to be made wrong regarding my opinion. But this is just the undercurrent that is trying to subvert what we as American citizens hold true. Roman virtues were the foundational ethical principles that built ancient Roman society. These virtues defined the character of Roman citizens. They were crucial for personal and societal well being. The significance of these virtues can be traced through various aspects of Roman life, from governance to family dynamics, as they promoted a culture of responsibility, honor, and integrity, according to exploring the core Roman virtues, a path to moral excellence. These virtues derive initially from Plato in the Republic. I'll definitely leave links to these in the description. The four cardinal virtues are prudence, justice, fortitude, and temperance. They form the virtue theory of ethics. Prudence is the virtue of wisdom and foresight in decision making. Justice embodies fairness and equity, ensuring that individuals receive what they are due. This is also good, right? In order that they receive good things that can come from being just. Fortitude represents courage and strength in facing adversity. Courage is also walking through your fear, feeling your fear, and walking through it regardless. And temperance is the virtue of moderation and self control. Additional virtues include fides, or faithfulness, loyalty, and trustworthiness in relationships. Pietas, piety, a deep sense of duty towards family, God, and country. right? This is what the left keeps shitting on people who actually and keep calling them fascists and Nazis and all of this other bullshit just because they're they have the virtue of piety, right? Family, God, and country. Should be God, country, and then family, or God, family, country. But God definitely on top of all of that. Gravitas, seriousness, right? A demeanor that reflects dignity and respect in actions. And dignitas, which is almost seems a little bit redundant there. A sense of self worth and honor that influences behavior. The chief virtue signaler of California, Gavin Newsom needs to brush up on history and work on self awareness. Talking to the people through the media about climate awareness, which is garbage, anyways. I don't think Gavin Newsom could survive a real podcast and having a conversation with hold it together. He'd probably pull another Kamala. I don't think he could sit down with Joe Rogan or Theo Vaz. I think it's Theo Vaz, the other YouTuber, or Trigonometry. That's another good one too. I don't think he could sit down in an interview and be legit. Those guys would just eat him alive. Anyways, I digress. Talking to the people through the media about climate awareness and electric vehicles when they can't afford rent and groceries is lacking in self awareness as it comes. It's another let them eat cake situation. In the meantime, let's take a minute to recognize our sponsor, Mahalo Hosting. Let's take a moment to thank our sponsor, Mahalo Hosting. Mahalo Hosting offers competitive rates for domain names and web hosting. Why register a star in your name when your name can be your domain? Mahalo Hosting also offers custom high-level domains like .photography, .club, .us, and .tv. Visit www.mahalohosting.com today. All right, we're back. The relationship between personal virtues and civic responsibility was integral to Roman identity, as these once were in America, yet many Americans still believe they are. The reason the election went to Donald Trump again is because he listened to the people, the very people that Gavin Newsom and Democratic elites found so odious. While these elites have prioritized filing their filing. Let's speak English now. While these elites have prioritized filling their pockets and bank accounts, enhancing their cultivated lifestyles and international prestige, Trump crisscrossed the country talking to the people who, like him, embody these virtues in their everyday lives, contributing to the greater good of the community through their hard work, dedication to their families, and service to their communities. Donald Trump didn't just beat Kamala Harris, i.e., the Biden admin. He thrashed them. Democrats have been humiliated. Yet the Democrat Party, as with Gavin Newsom, are not humbled and self effacing. They are in a state of disbelief. Some deep state Republicans are even chastened, but not enough. Lacking the ability for self reflection, they will lash out. Californians have another problem to manage. Newsom is termed out with his hunger for the presidency. He will say and do anything for the headlines from the compliant media. He believes will help deliver him to the White House. He already is with his Trump proof California stunt. The damage inflicted on California is of no concern to him as long as he achieves what he believes is rightfully his. Plato describes political justice as harmony in a structured political body, and that individual justice mirrors political justice. The human soul is composed of three parts according to Plato: the rational, the spirited, and the appetitive. The rational part of the soul seeks after truth and is responsible for our philosophical inclinations. The spirited part of the soul desires honor and is responsible for our feelings of anger and indignation. And the appetitive part of the soul is associated with desires, hunger, thirst, and sexual desire. It lusts after money, most of all, since money is used to fulfill any other base desire. That's kind of apropos because he just recently purchased a $9.1 million home in Marion County. So he's definitely uh, money hungry, without a doubt, power hungry. We are not dealing with a just individual in Gavin Newsom, in which the rational part of the soul rules. The spirited part of the soul supports his rule, and the appetitive part of the soul submits and follows wherever reason leads. The most unique type of man is the tyrant. Plato proves that injustice tortures a man's psyche, whereas a just soul is a healthy, happy one, and untroubled and calm. The tyrant, according to Plato's political view, is the alter ego of the philosopher, where the philosopher is only concerned with the common good. The tyrant only cares about himself and his inner circle. That is so true. And by the way, it's not even just Newsom. I would say this is equally uh, true of the legislative body that we continue to put these individuals we continue to put uh, into office. California's own tyrant craves the presidency. Lest you forget, Newsom was the first governor in the country to lock down an entire state under the guise of public safety over a virus. He shut down non essential businesses, including churches, while allowing cannabis businesses, marijuana dispensaries, bars, and clubs, and big box stores to remain open. A democracy is a government in which state power is vested in the people or the general population of a state. Thus, we have democratic elections and a representative public. Newsom's lockdown lasted just shy of 3 years. Very undemocratic, very authoritarian, autocratic, oppressive, and tyrannical. California was even named the most restrictive state of 51, with the most COVID restrictions, lockdowns, mandatory masking, mandatory vaccines in a survey of all states. And Gavin Newsom was leading the charge in California. The one man ban locking down 40 million people and sending COVID patients to nursing homes, condemning an untold number of seniors to their deaths. Newsom's record is clear. He is unjust and tyrannical. A host a hostis publicus, public enemy. Hostis publicus, public enemy, acting against the interest of the people and the nation. This was written by Katie Grimes. I like her take on this. But let's get back to the article in itself. Not really concerned with Gavin Newsom and his search for being president. What I'm more concerned about is our ability to be self-reflective, and this is true for the entire state of California. We're a very left-leaning state controlled by Los Angeles County, San Jose, and San Francisco, all of the beach cities where the quote unquote rich live. Aside from a few bastions of conservatism in Orange County, where I was originally from, we keep putting these legislators that support Gavin Newsom's tyranny. We have to pay attention. We have to be self reflective and we have to pay attention to our local governments. We have to be careful of who we're putting in. There are rhinos. We continue to put these bad people who support the special interests and the non government organizations. We really need to start paying attention to our politics and get these assholes out. It really doesn't matter in regards to party line. However, there's probably a few uh, key bullies. I think Portantino is termed out and he ended up screwing himself. We got to get the shifts out, at the Senate. Shit, Mitt Romney was a complete douchebag. He was a Republican. He was a rhino in name, Republican in name only, a rhino. Consider who we're voting for. There's all kinds of conspiracy theories out there, but you really need to reflect on what your values are. If you believe in the mutilation of children, if you believe in chemical castration of children, if you believe that church and God doesn't exist, if you believe that people should be vaccinated regardless of what physical damage can be caused, if these are the values that you hold, then maybe you should actually take a minute and go to a communist country, for example, like Brittany Griner did, and find out what real tyranny is all about. Um, you continue to make the people the enemy. The fucking problem is that you don't realize the people you're putting in office don't give a fuck about you, and that you are going to be the first ones out the door. This is how communism works. What they'll do is they'll rile up the troops, they'll get them all going, and because you think you're following them, they'll eliminate you first because they think you're absolute dog shit. This is the truth. This is how it works. Just follow history. All you got to do is take a look. Anyways, a shameless plug. I talk a lot about this shit in my book as well, about taking responsibility and accountability for yourself. I talk about stoicism and virtue in my book as well. Again, it's Simping Ain't Easy, 12 Steps to Embracing Common Sense and Rejecting Stupidity. That's the only way we can get California out of this fucking nonsense. But again, it's just my fucking opinion. And you know what they say about opinions. They're like assholes. Everybody's got one and they all stink. Anyways, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Love you, mean it. Have a great one. Take care. Bye.